You know, sometimes I wonder why it seems that players, consumers understand things that the actual professionals and the people in business don't seem to understand. They don't seem to get it. This game was doomed from the beginning. It was doomed from the very beginning. The moment they showed the gameplay reveal, which was last February. This game was supposed to come out last year. Now, that it's been released, it hasn't even been out for a full month. And Warner Brothers Discovery is already saying that Suicide Squad killed the Justice League. They're basically saying the game has flopped. And I was saying last year, along with a lot of other people, were saying last year that no, we don't want a game like this. We're not interested. And there's a reason why I chose to skip this game and why I chose not to cover it. And at this point, I doubt that I'll ever cover this game. There's actually a few reasons why, but before I get into that, let's go over some of the important information here from this article. So, Warner Brothers Discovery Chief Financial Officer Gunnar Weidenfels, I'm not sure how to pronounce his name. So he didn't give any sales figures for Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. But the number of players that the game has retained has dropped. It's dropped steadily, and it's going to keep dropping. Especially once we have some of these other games that come out, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Dragon's Dogma 2, so on and so forth. Hell, even now, before those games, released to market on Steam right now, this was actually a very smart move by Sony and PlayStation. They released Helldivers 2, which is a console exclusive, PlayStation exclusive. They released that concurrently with PC, the PC release. So they released the game both on PlayStation and on Steam, and a lot of people have been playing that. So that's like the go-to multiplayer game right now, the go-to, co-op multiplayer shooter. So that game pretty much took Suicide Squad's, I guess, whatever potential player count that they were looking for. Helldivers 2 pretty much snatched those players up. And that game came out not too long after Suicide Squad, I think maybe a week after. The peak player count has been listed at 13,459. This is a similar situation to Marvel's Avengers by Square Enix and Crystal Dynamics. They have this long-term post-launch support, via all these DLC and patch updates that they plan on releasing. I highly doubt, they're going to make it through half of their plans for said post-launch content. I don't see there being a path forward for this game after this year. I really don't. And what really angers me, there's a few things that anger me, but two key things specifically about Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. The first is that Rocksteady, it's not just that Rocksteady, developed this game and they chose to make a game like this, and they chose to waste these popular comic book characters on some, bullshit, looter shooter garbage. But it's the fact that they spent 7 years. 7 years they kept people in the dark. And we didn't have much correspondence from Rocksteady during the majority of that time. They literally went dark for, I think, about 5 years before they even announced this game. I saw the writing on the wall when they announced it because it just seemed like a very strange concept. People had been asking for a Justice League game, and instead you decide to make a game based on four members of the Suicide Squad, and it's their task to hunt down and kill the Justice League. Who really wants to play something like that? It's going to be a very small number of people that are going to be interested in a game like that. And even when, December rolled around last year, and they released their closed alpha, which, the closed alpha only covered the first 3 hours of the game. I was saying at the time, because I was invited to play the alpha. I played the alpha, and I sat through the entire thing with my co-host. Parts of the game were actually kind of fun. There were some things going on with the story that we really liked. But, I also took into consideration that it was just the first 3 hours of the game. When this game came out, I actually did something that I never do. I went online and I took a look at all of the cutscenes. There was like a video, someone had uploaded all the cutscenes and whatnot. I sat through cutscenes on YouTube, and I think that was that combined with the poor reviews, because this game got a 60 on Metacritic, which is not good at all. That combined with the poor reviews and just the bad taste of seeing, certain characters that I really like die and just be treated as like some kind of afterthought. It just really left a bad taste in my mouth. It was at that point that I decided, yeah, I'm not gonna cover this game at all. It's Marvel's Avengers all over again, literally. And this article also mentions something important as well. I mentioned Helldivers 2 earlier, but that's not the only, multiplayer game that came out this month. You also had Square Enix's Foam Stars and Ubisoft's Skull and Bones. It seems that all of these games took up, Rocksteady's potential player base. And so not only did this game not have a good reception when they first revealed the gameplay, not only did Rocksteady release this closed alpha test, implemented some kind of stupid NDA to where players couldn't talk about it. I had uploaded a video talking about the closed alpha. Unfortunately, that video was taken down by some asshole at Rocksteady. And that's another reason why I decided not to cover the game, because it was at that point they really needed, this game to have some kind of positive reception. And I had nothing but positive things to say about the game just based off of what I played of the alpha in that video. And they decided to, up until, close to the time when the game actually launched, to keep players from, talking about the game. It's like you're preventing word of mouth from getting out. And I think what it was, they were trying to prevent any negative feedback from, taking place. So like I said, that rubbed me the wrong way. And it was just a variety of things as to why, I decided not to cover this game. But clearly this game it was just dead on arrival from the very beginning, even long before they showed the gameplay. I knew this game was not going to do well. This should be another wake-up call to these gaming companies. Stop making these live service games. Stop making them. Especially stop making these games if the IP is known worldwide. So if it's a Marvel thing or if it's a DC Comics thing, don't make it live service. We, the players, we, the consumers, don't want that. This whole game was just stupidity on the behalf of the people at Rocksteady. Stupidity. And if you go back and you play like the Batman Arkham games, which are some of the best games, some of the greatest games ever made, I don't understand. Even if the majority of the development team from those games left the company when this game went into development. Once again, I don't understand how you have a company with a player base that respects the hell out of you, that has a reputation for being one of the best companies in the business, and then you go and you release some bullshit like this. They should have known, everyone on that development team for this game should have known that this game was not going to be a success upon release. They should have known that. And this is why I've criticized in the past Steam reviews. Because as hard as it is to believe, there's a lot of dumbasses within the PC gaming audience, within the PC gaming community. There's a lot of fucking idiots. This game has a very positive rating overall. 80% of the player base that reviewed this on Steam have given it a positive score. That's what I'm saying. You can't trust anybody, dude. You can't trust the players. You can't trust the YouTubers. You can't trust, the gaming journalists, except in, situations like this. I guess when it comes to the YouTubers and the gaming journalists, everyone who had a brain saw that this game was not going to do well. And it's not the type of game that Rocksteady should be making. So I don't understand how this game got a positive rating on Steam. But it's also important to note that only 4,000 people reviewed this, and that's a very small number for a high profile game like this. I mean, just everything about this game, including the fact that they had these fucking characters dress up as the Justice League members, and I guess Rocksteady thought that was appropriate. I really don't know what the hell they were thinking, but yeah, man, it's just a combination of different things as to why I didn't cover this game, and that tends to happen from time to time. I'll intend to cover something, and then I'll change my mind for whatever reason at the last minute. It happened last year with Atomic Heart. I bought the game, but yeah, I only played it for a few hours before realizing, yeah, this is kind of boring. I don't want to play this, and so I decided not to cover that game, and that game wasn't received well either. Yeah, man, coming off of Hogwarts Legacy, which, was the best-selling game of 2023, that's the first game, I think, in over a decade that has outsold Call of Duty. Because Call of Duty consistently is the best-selling game of any given year. Hogwarts Legacy outsold that game last year. It was the best-selling game. It outsold Zelda. And I know that's a different development team and whatnot, but it's still Warner Brothers. It's still the same publisher, WB Games. And the fact that they went from that to this is mind blowing to me. Unbelievable.